for those who requested that I record the meeting for them, I'm going to do that so that nitatuma YouTube for those who will be able to view later. So I'm waiting for you guys to switch. I can only see ni Joyce ama ni nani anajita Huawei someone Y6. So we have Titus from Kisii, we have Joyce in Nairobi, we have Maria from Israel, we have Technospark 5, we have Karoki Mugwe in Nairobi, and we have Angelina in Nairobi. So the rest will find us tukisha endelea. We need to move very fast because whatever I want to share is not something complicated. One, I want to share with you how to set up your blog, not blog, your bot, basically your account after you've signed up, how to load the bot to your account, and how to change strategies for different accounts. Tuko pamoja hadi hapo? Are we together? I believe I can see someone is not mute. Their name is not mute, so you can be my source of feedback. So I'll share my screen so that we can see what I'm talking about. So not that one. Not that one. So we need to get, let me make sure I'm using the right stuff. Let me just go direct to Chrome. So we have our account there, and normally the account is always on the default setup of the bot, which looks like this, something like this here. There are no settings, there's nothing. So, sorry, with this bot, you cannot make money with this default one. So the bots you have, regardless of which bot you have, you come here on this second icon from the left side, this one here, you click on it. If you're using your phone, you still use that same icon. Click there. So it's going to take you to your files. Most likely it will be in your downloads or your documents. It depends on the settings of your phone. Then you're going to select that one bot. For example, for me, I have quite a number of them, but we are going to use one that almost everyone has. The one called, this one here, the Mint. So you select, then you open. When you open, it's going to load. It's going to load, and you'll see here blocks are loaded successfully. And once that happens, you basically stop and check. Once you have loaded the bot, you stop and check if the parameters are right, depending on what you want to do. Now, this bot has no much settings that you need to work on. The first thing you're going to choose, decide how much do you want to make, depending on how much you have in your account. Now, for example, here we have 17,000. This is a virtual account, definitely. We have 17,000. Now, you ask yourself, because it doesn't have the stop loss. I've not included stop loss. You are the stop loss. So you have to be there yourself to watch. Now, let's say, for example, I decide I want to make like $20, depending on how much I have here. I always recommend you make 10% of what you have in your account, 10% for a whole day. Now, 10% doesn't mean you have to make it in one sitting. You can make it maybe 4 times. If you're making $20 in a day, you can make 5 in the morning, 5 midday, 5 in the afternoon, and 5 late night, evenings. You have $20 for the whole day, depending on how much you have. It's not a must to make the $20 in one setting, especially most people, we don't have here a big amount in the real accounts. I also don't have a real big account. So I won't lie to you that I have millions in my trading account. Whenever I make money, I withdraw. Sometimes I withdraw everything and deposit whenever I want to. But I always make sure I have around $50 to $100 in between there, sometimes 70, 75, $80, just in case I have to trade during the day. But most of the time, my account is not loaded with too much money, because one, if you have a lot of money in your account, you'll be tempted to trade anyhow if you're not disciplined enough. You try with a virtual account, or you see someone has posted something, you go and trade without really having to check the settings keenly. But if you have a small amount, you are always very careful not to make any losses. Are we together up to that point?
Hey, boss, can I ask you a question?
Someone, this part,
Have you noticed that the overall looks kind of
kindly mute yourself so that
that it's been so weird.
okay, it's fine, it's fine. I've done it for you. Just relax. Ni Mercy, yeah, just relax. Now, your bot is here. We've decided we want to make $20. Now let the stake not remain. This stake is the amount, it's the buying price. Out of this much, how much are you giving the bot to trade for you? Now you can always choose a very considerate number. Don't choose a very big number, neither should you give it a very small number, depending on your goal. Because if you choose a very small number, you're going to stay in the market for too long. Now let's give it like, let's say $5, for example. Then a stake and initial stake should be the same, so that when the bot buys and wins, it proceeds. Now, martingale factor, here the only items you're going to change are here. Now, another factor you can change is the prediction. Now, something I've realized most people don't know is how to maneuver through the bot. If you want to make this bot go up, place your cursor out here if you're using a laptop, or somewhere here, then click. If you don't have a mouse, you can just use the left button on your laptop, then you scroll on the pad. The bot is going to move up so that you can see whatever is down there. You can see all the items that are below there, because if you don't do that, you'll not be able to see some items. Even if you use this scroll bar on the right side, it cannot give you all the details. So kindly use the mouse, or if your screen is touch, like mine is a touch screen, I can still move with my fingers to whatever direction I want, to whatever point I want to view. Now, let's say if we give our bot here prediction 2, and our always make sure here is static indices. Then we have digit over and under. Under digits over and under, you still have other options. So in here, the bot is default. The default settings are for digits over and under. So you let it remain there. Here you choose over. So we are going to win, or we are going to make profits when a number appears higher than 2. And I'll give you a different number so that you can always try. Now, this one, let's not change so much. Let's just use these ones here. We have only changed the target, stake, and initial amount. All the other settings have remained the same. So once you do that, you just click on this icon and it tells you run the bot. This is not play, because I used to use the word play and someone was like, nataka kucheza, nataka kuwekelea. This is not betting, it's not like gambling. So we run the bot so that the bot can start doing its work. So we are there, and the bot has started. You can see this side, we have the bot doing the analysis, and we've started our trading with a loss of $5. Now, when you make $5, the way this bot is designed is the next buying, it buys exactly the same amount as the one it has lost. After it gets to a win here, it now buys a bigger number so that it can be able to recover what is lost here. And you can see once you recover the intended amount, you go back to the initial stake. Initial stake is the initial buying price, which is $5. And that's our stake. So you can see we are moving. We have one loss. We only have one loss, but when it loses, immediately the next buy is equivalent to what is lost. So if it wins, it goes higher to try recover what is lost. It doesn't buy immediately because sometimes you might find successive numbers that are lower. You always check at the exit spot. That's where you view a number that is lower than 2, and this one is lower than 2. This one is also lower than 2. So immediately it buys a number at the same amount. Then after we win here, it goes to buy a bigger number, which is 12.4, so that it can recover. And you can see we are moving. We are moving. We are moving. I used 5 so that we can move faster. And there we have it. We already have our $20. Now, if the bot stops, let's say you've made your $20 for that moment, for that session, it doesn't matter how many runs it's going to take. But I advise you, if you have a small account, don't even think of having this kind of stake. Now, putting in practice, the real ideal state, most people want to trade with maybe $1, and here you want to make $1, or let's have 1.1 here. So don't target a big amount like $20. Make a small amount so that you make twice in a day. Our target is still 20. We go back to our bot. That's the icon of going back here. You first clear what is here. Then we now have new settings. You have $1 as the buying price. You run your bot. Now, I will allow questions because there's something I also want to show you. Then I will allow questions. Then I think by that time tutakuwa tuko sawa. I think by that time tutakuwa tuko sawa. So basically, what matters here is you understanding. The first thing for beginners, understanding how to maneuver through the bot. Ujue nikifinya hapa italeta hivi. If I do this, this is what I'm likely to get. Now, this is what we have here. We have a number that should be higher than 2 because we say over 2. So we lose when we have a number lower than 2, which is 0 and 1. And we lose also when we get a number that is exactly because 2 is equivalent to 2, so it's not higher, neither is it lower. So we lose. But you see, when it loses, it buys a bigger. After one step, buys a higher number to recover. Once we recover, we move forward. Just one step, we recover and we go ahead. So I've reduced the amount. Now, sometimes you find that you've run the bot for a short period of time and you have some amount here, maybe $5. Our target is 10, but you have like $5 here. Now, instead of you waiting to like, you have to make it, if you see that the market starts misbehaving, you are making a lot of losses, you simply stop the bot manually. You can see here, but we've recovered and it's going to buy a bigger amount here. You can see now we've lost 2. It will go back to 1 so that it tests the market and we go higher. After it tests, it goes higher. Now, this one is not the normal martingale of multiplying by 2, by 2, by 2, no. This one is programmed to work with how much is lost because that is what is supposed to be recovered. How much is lost? So if you lose a bigger amount like here, it definitely will go back to 1.1, then buy a higher amount. I hope someone is answered. You had a question of why is it giving me these many losses, these big figures that I didn't get, I didn't include. it's because of how much you've lost. So if you lose a small number like this one, after one step, it will buy also a small number. So I always advise, if you wanted $10 and you have around $4, you can stop the bot manually. For beginners, so if you don't have a big account, stop there manually. But as we speak, the market is good. The market is performing well. You can see we have a 19 against 5. The market is okay right now. And I'm tempted to log in my real account, but I won't because we are learning. We can't learn when I'm not keen, but we can still do it because whatever is in that account is only 70-something dollars. I've withdrawn money and left $77. For those who feel like they want to see my live account, you can still do that. But this is basically how the bot is going to move. But I always advise someone, if you've already made around half of your target, you can practically stop there manually and let the others. You can see we are taking up. We are at $8 still. But the only time it has got the highest amount so far is around $8.5 after we lost 2.75. It was based on the amount we lost here. Similarly, Hapo Juu, we also have a big amount that we lost, this one, that led us to have this big number so that we can recover quickly and go back to our initial trading stake. Now we are there, we are almost done. So that's basically the first step, loading, adjusting your stake amounts and your target profits. That is done. So we are almost there. And because of the meeting should be, let's just finish. Let's just make our $10. Yeah, we have our $10 here. We are done with that strategy. A small amount. It will take more runs. It will take a good number of runs for you to make. We can see we have 39 runs here. The other one had very few runs because our stake was big. So I would advise, go slow but sure. You can have a small stake, make a bigger number of runs, but as long as you are making something on top of the balance you had, you are still good to go. Now, that is one of the items you can work on. Now, the same bot, you can come here. Once you load it, you come here and now decide that you don't want to work with digit under or over. Okay, first, let's finish with digit over. You come here and now say you want to use a different number. You say a number like, say 5. You want a projection of earning on numbers over 5. So once you do that, always make sure that you stop the bot, you go back to the bot. This is a summary. You clear so that whatever you are starting is new. Then you run the bot. You can run with the same settings. Now, if you run the bot, we've changed the prediction. Now that prediction, that number 5 alone, from 2 to 5, it's going to give you different figures. You're going to earn different amounts. On the other one, we were earning 0.44 on $1. Here we are going to see, now we are still losing because our prediction is over 5. So you can see we have lost here, we've lost here, not because the bot has done anything wrong, but because we've changed our strategy. We need to earn, our strategy is earning over 5. Karoki, you can unmute yourself and ask. So this one is tricky. Don't try this on a small account. You can see all the numbers here appear to be less than 5 or equal to 5. So that's something someone might try. And you see all the numbers here are in between 0 and 5. So we've made losses, but now we make our first win here. And when you make this win, the bot is going to buy a very big number. It will buy a very big number so that we can try to recover what is lost here. You can see now we have 21. And the 21 is also a loss. So don't try to adjust so many things on the bot. because we are looking at a number higher than 5, and you can see this one is going to give you so many losses. So don't try that. But if you have a big account, fine, go ahead and do it. But I don't advise. Higher. There we go. See how much it bought. After we lost this, it went very high. It went to 247. And this amount, the payout when your number is bigger, if your prediction is higher, basically probability goes goes low, and when the probability of getting that number is low, the payout goes high. Hizo mtu hajashika najua. From 2, now this is what we are. Between 0 to 9, we have 10 digits. We have 0 itself, 1 to 9. Now, if you say you want a number over 2, you have around 7 numbers. You have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So probability of getting that number is higher compared to a number higher than 5, which is 6, 7, 8, and 9. You only have 4 digits you are looking for. That's why you see you are earning more than your stake. And if let's say this was a real account, and this is an account, you should not try that if your account doesn't have a lot of money. Because if this would have been a loss, then we'd have had a very big loss here of over $300 and something. So don't try this if you don't have a lot of money. Alternatively, don't use 1. You can use 0.3 something, but still, this one you need to be very careful. But I was just sharing different ways of making money. Now you can see at the end of the day, we've closed our market with $57. But it's very tricky. Better go slow and sure. There's no hurry. It's not a competition. So Karoki, you had something? You can ask.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you to tell the guys to avoid trading on the top of the hour, because that's what you are doing, which could explain why you made so many losses.
Exactly, and it's what you did on the bot you sent me. The timestamp shows that you are trading just on the top of the hour, but it's fine. Now, we are here. I wanted to share something else. If you check here, you can still, under digits, you can still choose matches and differs. Then here, don't, please, using this bot, these are the mint, DFK Pro. Please don't use matches. Don't. If your hand clicks on matches by mistake, just go back and redo. So here, we say differs. Now you choose which number should not appear. This one is basically a number that you predict should not appear. If it appears, you make a loss. Now, we want to make our $10 here. So you can have the bot running with a stake of $1. And this one I'm showing you so that you can always try on your virtual accounts. The only way you can learn is if you give yourself time to learn. Don't expect that you'll sit and the things will be done for you. Now, here, the bot pays you around 9% of somewhere there, or 10% of your stake, of your buying price. But as I said, it's better to be slow and sure. So the only number that will give us a loss is if we have a 0 at the end, because that's our prediction that it won't give us 0 here. So you let the bot run. Any number that is not 0 is a win. And this bot moves very fast because of its volatility. Volatility is 10, somewhere here, 10, and there's an S. Any volatility that has an S in the bracket is very fast. So that's why you can see this bot is moving so quickly, and you can see where we are so far. Now, when you lose 100% because we have a 0 here. So we lost 100% of our stake. Now, when it loses, it goes back, buys one more time to test. When it finds that this is a win, it buys now a bigger number so that you can be able to recover. If you check on this left side, you can see that the bot is still in loss of 0.64. So it's still going to buy another bigger number to be able to recover everything that should have been here. So now, if you lose this big number here, this is a big amount, it won't buy a martingale. It won't buy a ×2 of this. It's going to go back to the initial stake, which is 1.1. Now, if it's a win, it goes back to buy now a bigger amount so that you can recover what is lost. And you're going to observe that. There we are. It has bought a 6 point something. It starts buying big numbers so that it can be able to recover what was lost here. You can see this other left side, we have still negative 1 point something. Until that is recovered, the bot will still buy big numbers. So you decide which strategy are you going to use for your bot. Now, based on that, those are the only things I wanted you to learn on how to use the bot and how to change stuff. Because without knowing how to maneuver through, you'll always wait for me or someone to be there for you to do something, which is not healthy. If you want to trade, maybe you can see the market is okay, you should know what to do by yourself. And that is basically the guide of what you need to be trying. This demo account is meant for that. It's meant for those trials. You can see so that you also check. Now, something you need to note, trading times. It's not anytime you feel like you just log into your account and start trading. No, you have to check the timings. We have very early in the morning. I always trade very early in the morning, and that's around 3 to 4 a.m. I recommend that. If you can wake up, fine. If you cannot wake up, try and check the market at around 9 to 10 to 11, but not past that. Then come around 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is also good. 10 to 5 around there is also good. Then late night around 10 p.m. you can still make good income. Now we already have a notification of that we need to upgrade our account. Need to upgrade our account. We're going to work on that. So up to there, does anyone have a question? Kindly. So we can see the bot has already recovered. And once all the amount is recovered, it goes back to the initial stake. So it does that by itself. You don't have to do anything. But this bot does not have stop loss. So you should not just leave it to run because you are the stop loss. If you decide you want to stop it, maybe you've made some few coins, like let's say you have $5, you want to stop, you can stop. You have $20, you want to stop manually, you can stop. But the bot still works for different strategies. Now, the same bot you can work on the last one, as this one runs, let's load it on this other tab so that we observe as the other one works, this one is also working. As you prepare questions, because I want to answer 2 or 3 questions, we still have a few minutes to the end of the meeting. The meeting was to last 40 minutes because it's not something complicated. It's not something complicated. Now, once again, assuming this is someone who has logged into their account, you just come here, you click on load, you choose the bot. We are still going to use the same bot. Once you open, bots are loaded successfully. Now here, you can still use a different strategy of even and odd. Even and odd, here, under bots, choose odd. apparently, odd numbers appear. Someone is making. Angelina tafadhali, please. So when it's here, you choose odd, then you choose your target. Let's say you want to make $10. I like 10 because it's easier to make $10 and a stake of 1.1 or just $1, not a must. And initial and initial stake should be the same thing. You can change that martingale to a smaller number, $1. And once you do that, you click on run. You click on run so that the bot starts. Now here, we know chance of getting an even number or an odd number is 50-50. So you also get a higher payout compared to other strategies. So odd, it means at the end here, at the exit spot, the last digit should be an odd number. And apparently odd numbers appear more than even numbers according to my own observation. You can try and see. And so far you can see that we have all these are odd numbers. All these are odd numbers. All these are odd numbers. And when an even number, which is an 8, appears, we lose the stake, but still, then it goes back. We are going to lose also this one because this is an even number. 0 is considered even so that you can have a balance between odd and even numbers. Now, even numbers are coming. That should not worry you. What should worry you is you observing we have an odd number. Now, when it wins, it buys a bigger number to compensate for the losses that we've incurred. To compensate for the losses that we have incurred. And now that's a bigger number and an even number appeared. Apparently today, or this moment, now you should not give up because you can see you have losses here. So we let it run as we also go back and check how this other bot is performing. We are at $3, 59 wins against 5 losses. The reason we have so many wins and a small amount here is because of the payout. Digit differs pays you 10% of your stake. And that's why you can see we have so many wins, but a small amount of money here. Now we go back here, we are done. This one moves very fast. Digit odd. We are done making our $21. Our target was 10, but because of this buying here, we have had to go almost 2 times of what we had anticipated to make because of the payout. 30 gives you 29, gives you over 96%. You can see 1 gives you 0.96, that's 96% of your stake. That's why we have this. So with the bot, you can consider having different strategies, and the different strategies are going to give you different returns. Then you settle on one that you'll be using. That's the only way you can be able to make money out of this trading if you have the skills, if you can do your own stuff at your own pace, knowing what, basically knowing how to maneuver is what matters. Like if you go to a driving school, they don't give you everything in the school. They give you the basics, the rules, what to do where, how to take off. Once you do that and they feel you're comfortable, they let you go. You don't go back to the driving school every day you want to drive. So you should also not be going back to the person who sold you a boat every now and then. But the person is available to help you until you are able to take off. Once you take off, you need to know these basics. Now, I accept questions. We have 3 minutes so that before the meeting ends. So I accept any challenges so that I can handle them. We move to the next item. And that next item is not today. How many are we in the meeting today? Leo mmekuja. Leo mmekuja. Naftali, the rule was everyone to put on their video, regardless of where you are. As long as kuna ka video tutajua you are alive. so that I also see some faces. I've never seen some face. Kama ya Karoki, I've never seen your face, but it's fine. So does anyone have any questions? You just raise your hand to hapo kwa chat box. I unmute you. I answer your question, then we proceed. Let's check our DFAS, digit DFAS. It's still working. You can see this one to Limaliza Kitambo. Here we are. You are still moving swiftly. We are at 72 wins. So this one, I can say someone, if you have a big amount, just use a big amount because you're going to have so many wins against losses, so that you make the money quicker than if you have to wait for a small bits. So anyone with any question, kindly, you can ask. If there is none, I will assume everyone is okay and you're going to try what you've seen. This video was, I was recording this video. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel so that in case maybe you missed something, especially on loading the bot and changing the strategy, you can still have it. It's also going to be available for those people who missed the meeting because they had other engagements, which is okay, we understand. So that's it and done. Kama hakuna swali, I request that I end the meeting. Any other thing that you feel you want to ask, but you can't ask in this meeting, you're just going to WhatsApp me. All of you have my number. Then you let me know. You let me know of what challenges you might have faced, or what you're going through, where you need my support. And I think with that, we are good to go. Sini sawa. Can I end the meeting? Do hakuna swali? Karoki, now you can unmute yourselves. You can unmute yourselves. Mpige kelele kidogo, 1 minute to end it. The meeting ends in less than 1 minute. So there we are. Naona Joyce, you are trying to unmute yourself. So, but we have less than a minute, so.
Okay.
Oh, umesema thank you, you are welcome. At least, mujaribu hiyo. Sitaki niwape a lot of stuff at once. And then mjaribu hiyo, alafu mkikwama just ask me in my WhatsApp. Ni sawa?
Sawa.
Have a good night.
Okay.
And I wish you a nice trading moment.
All right. Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Haya, karibuni. Mkikwama mniulize.